Religion teaches that if we disobey the commandments of God, we will go to hell. The truth teaches that the only way to God is through change. The reality is that mankind are more afraid of change than they are of hell, and that they are also afraid of death. And the reason why they are afraid of change and death is because death and change are synonymous. To fear is madness. To sorrow, sadness. Have I discovered the light within me? Turn it off, it scares me. No, 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 this is only an illusion. My fears and sorrows, confusion. Come, my child, come forth and be. Happiness is reality.
This is a poem that I composed and had put in the back part of my business card, and I made 2,000 of these business cards and passed it out to all kinds of people. I took a trip in '99 and I traveled to Las Vegas, California, and up Route 1, the Coastline Road. Went to Sequoia National Park and then back down to Monterey Bay, and then up to Seattle. And along the entire time that I was on this trip, I gave out my business cards to people, just to get people thinking and inquiring as to life, and to understand if there is, try to get people looking beyond this life and beyond the materialistic surroundings, beyond our material world, into the spiritual world. Because in actuality, all things are really spiritual, as we discussed in part 1. So, if you're unafraid, we'll continue with the phases, this being part 2, the last 3 phases, and later on we'll be discussing the 4-year program. So let me explain what we're about to begin with in this on this tape, part 2. We're here right now in the imaginary Sapphira, which is called Da'at, or higher knowledge. And let me read that to you now. Da'at, the unnumbered Sapphira, the hidden code of the Bible, a letter encouraging people to discover for themselves the hidden code. And I have written this as the hidden code because, you know, when we read the Bible, we're really not understanding the real truth of it all. It was actually written in Hebrew. And I'd like to say that it is impossible to rewrite anything in Hebrew, from Hebrew, and keep its original meaning, because Hebrew is an entirely different language, and it's impossible to take the Bible, having been originally written in Hebrew, and write it in English or any other language, French, German, and maintain the original meaning of what the Bible had intended for us to understand. I myself do not understand Hebrew, but I understand, I mean, I have read enough books on the Hebrew language in order to understand that it is difficult to maintain the original meaning of the intent that the Bible was written in, and keep its original meaning. So let's go ahead and read Da'at, the hidden code of the Bible. And by the way, the imaginary Sapphira, Da'at, divides the bottom 7 Sephiroth from the top 3 Sephiroth. And in order for us to get to the top 3, we have to go through the abyss, or in other words, being willing to obtain higher knowledge for ourselves. And that's another way that Da'at is understood as being, it's called the abyss. And for us to get to the top 3, we have to do this by faith, and step out in faith, just like Indiana Jones stepped out in the Last Crusade. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, referring to that movie. So let's go ahead and talk about, read the hidden code of the Bible now. Why does a person worship God? Is it because that's the person he or she aspires to be like? Is it his or her dream to be like God? The difference between dreams and reality is that reality, our dreams, come true. On the other hand, why would a person not want to know how to become like God? Is it because he or she is afraid of him, like the children of Israel were afraid, and insisted that Moses speak to them instead of God? And are they afraid of God because they're afraid of themselves? The difference between the phrases "remember the Alamo" and "remember Hans Mill" is that one of these phrases applies to a people who believes that they can become like God.